there, I don't have an opinion here. Is there the thinking that no matter what, everyone should be able to earn the MCC? So I see this and this in room. So with enough training, enough experience, enough preparation, should everyone be able to earn the MCC? And I'm asking this as a rhetorical question because to me, well, in the credentialing industry, 70% is kind of the benchmark that for a program. You would like to have about a 70% pass rate. Although, is that lowering the standard or is that raising the standard? There's some calculations you can do on what the pass rate should be, what the cut score should be. But in a lot of ways, it's a philosophical decision. And so this comes from the ICF board. It comes from the membership. What should the pass rate? Do you expect that there will be a 90% pass rate for MCC? Or is 70 or is 50 okay? But right now, one of the things that we think has to happen, first of all, is improving the MCC assessment process, the training of the assessors, and really the intent of that is to be able to give more meaningful feedback to the applicant. The other thing is educating the community about what it takes to get to the MCC level. Right now, the way the policy is written, people can jump into the deep end of the pool. They can just go for MCC without ever having been assessed at any time before. I think what we're going to go to, and this is not policy, this is just a possibility, is that we're going to require people to hold a PCC, or should demonstrate PCC before they can go for MCC. The other thing that is happening, I think, that confounds this is the number of client coaching hours. It's 2,500 hours for the MCC. So what happens is somebody gets their coach training and they've got 700, 100, 1,000 hours, whatever. But it may take them 4 or 5 more years to get to 2,500 hours. Looking at correlations between number of hours and success, there's not much of a positive correlation. What seems to be more important is mentoring, possibly working with a supervisor. My anecdotal thing is, if you do the same thing badly over and over again, you're not learning anything. So I have people who will call me and say, look, I made $150,000 last year as a coach, and I have 100 clients, and you can't tell me I'm not MCC. Well, I don't know. That they're obviously, what I used to say is, clearly you're providing value for people, and that's great, but I don't know that you're demonstrating the skills at the MCC level that they're looking for. Again, the thing that seems to be most important is not just practice hours, client hours, but reflective client hours, reflective practice, where you're continuing to get feedback, continuing to develop your skills around the use of the core competencies. But clearly we need to give more guidance to people, more direction to people, more support for people who are going through that process.
So I anticipate the minute ICF announces that if there's going to be a change in the MCC, you're going to have that thing you had in March before the ACC, the testing started.
Well, and really, it's interesting right now, we've had a lot of people who come through the MCC process who jumped in right before the written exam was required. And a lot of them come back to me and said, the only reason I went ahead and did this is because I just wanted to take that written exam. And I don't think I was really ready, which is kind of a shame, but almost everybody takes that very positively. It's like, okay, now I know what I need to do to go back and really get to work with this.
So I know I said one more question from the audience, but I want to make sure before we close that I ask you a couple questions about mentor coaching and supervision, because I know some people in the room will be leaving at 12:30 and won't be able to stay for the second part. So let me just hit a couple of questions here and put a both out and let you take them where you want. First of all, what is the difference between a mentor coach and a supervisor, and what should people look for in either one of these two?
right, so from the website, I'm going to shortcut this. I didn't realize this. I hope this is really helpful or useful to you. So when we're talking about mentor coaching, the way I like to describe it is it's coaching on your coaching skills. But so the way to think about that to me is it's really individualized instruction. You're working with someone who is well qualified to give you feedback, formative assessment of your ability to deliver on the ICF core competency code of ethics definition of coaching. It is really a teaching moment. You're getting a mentor coach who is well versed in that, who can listen to you coach, who can give you some feedback on that, let you practice that, demonstrate again, give you more feedback. So it's this loop that happens. And the idea again is it's formative feedback that you're getting. When you go through coach training, there's a part of it that's the sit and get training, where you're sitting in a room and somebody's telling you all this stuff. But actually being able to practice and have someone listen to you and give you feedback, that's what we're calling mentoring. It is, my impression is that that's probably more important than the sit and get. That actual opportunity to practice, get that feedback, and be reflected. That's why we say that we want mentoring to extend for a period longer than 3 minutes. There's this 10-hour requirement, and some people say, okay, I got 9 hours 3 years ago, and I did 1 hour last week. That's not what we're wanting. So we're trying to develop some standards around it, so that it is an ongoing process, and not just in preparation for your credential, but ongoing as you're continuing to grow and learn as a coach. That mentoring, having an external party listen to you coach who's well skilled in it, and coming back to you is really important. Okay.
Great, and what's the difference between mentor coaching and supervision?
Okay. So supervision starts moving away from the technical skills and into a much broader level of reflective practice. It's an opportunity to work with someone, maybe not just about your coaching, it could be about your coaching skills, but it also could be about challenges you're facing during your practice. It's for the benefit of the coach, maybe in their personal relationship with their clients. It's a much broader focus than what is in mentor coaching. Now, let me say this. We are continuing to look at supervision. It's not a requirement. We don't have plans to make it a requirement. We think it's beneficial. We did allow it now to be as a part of your renewal process if you're working with a supervisor. It's very, this is very much a generalization, but there is a lot of negative perception, concern, especially within the U.S., that it becomes the psychology model or the social worker model of I'm the boss and you have to work the way that I say that you work. That's not what we're talking about. In Australia and in Europe, it's really being broadly embraced, and people are saying, why did I get an ICF requiring this for everybody? We don't think we're ready for that. We don't think there's a large enough pool of well-qualified coach supervisors. We think the place, I shouldn't say we, I think the place it's going to come from is the market is going to demand. There are going to be clients who say, unless you're working with a supervisor, I'm not going to hire you. Or companies that say, if we're going to have an internal coaching program, we have to have a supervision model within this program. So a much broader perspective than mentor coaching. I'll put that slide. That's way too many words up there. And it talks about mentor coaching as part of the initial development. I think it needs to be ongoing development. When it says supervision is inviting the coach to focus much more on what is going on in the process and where the person may be in truth not professional. You may have a challenging situation that you're dealing with a client and don't know how to do it. You need a thought partner that you can talk to about how do I deal with this particular situation with my client. And of course, all the rules about confidentiality and professionalism we want to apply there. We're looking at, again, how should supervisors be trained? What should their qualifications be? We're looking at, do we develop a formal designation for supervisor? similar to what we did for mentor coach, which by the way, we're working on strengthening that definition as well. Is that?
Yeah, that's very helpful, and I want to let the group know, if you go to the ICF website, you're going to see a lot more on the site about what to look for in a mentor coach and what to look for in a supervisor. The other thing I would let you know is that these services, as they're being offered, sometimes are offered individually, and sometimes there are group mentor coaching offers and group supervision offers out there. In fact, you have one from my company on your chair when you came in.
I'm trying to talk faster.
Yeah.
If somebody goes to a mentor coach and says, I need you to be my mentor because I got to pass the PCC. I think that's and if the mentor coach says, oh, you're absolutely, all of my clients pass the PCC, I think that's a problem. As someone seeking a mentor coach, you should be going saying, I want to develop my coaching skills the best that they can be. And the mentor coach is saying, okay, I'm here to help you do that. I'm going to work with you to help you develop your coaching skills. The PCC or the MCC or the ACC is not an end in itself. The mentor coaching should be a means to becoming a better coach, regardless of your career.
So, George, I'm going to give you 20 seconds for any final words you have for this.
You
can do it. You can do it. Anything that you would offer to them as a final comment?
Well, I feel really blessed to be able to contribute to this work. We have things that are working really well, and we have things that we're not anywhere close to being where they need to be working. And the thing that to me is really important is that we continue to look, we continue to examine what's going on, we continue to listen to the community, we continue to look at where the profession is going, and with the idea that it's not a static thing, it's something that's going to keep changing. I would say, and I had this slide that somewhere, with all these paths on it. And we have all these things going on, assessor training, and UCC assessment, job analysis, honor writing, process, something that I didn't talk about. It's more than 20 seconds, I know, but all these roads, though, somewhere at the end, they all intersect into a really, a body of knowledge, clear standards for profession, assessments, all kinds of different aspects of coaching around internal coaching or external coaching, or a manager using coaching skills. All those things are coming together, and I really look forward to continuing this journey. Even though I'm ready to get out of the spaghetti there and get into it. That's what I say is it's like wet concrete. We're still raking it around and getting it leveled out. I don't ever want it to completely set up, but that's where we're going.
Thank you so much.